I was reading in the news this morning that 70 years ago today, back in 1955, Disneyland opened up out in California. Now, what I've read is that Disneyland was actually just, was the main focus for Walt Disney, but he started the TV shows, the Mouseketeers, and also the Wonderful World of Color to advertise Disneyland, so people all over the nation would be attracted to Disneyland and to come there, and that was his profit center. The same way as a lot of Broadway shows began advertising back in the 1950s on the Ed Sullivan Show, which made people all over the nation want to come to Broadway. So marketing has been a big part of the history of America, and that's certainly no news to anyone else. Welcome to one of our videos from St. Mark's Episcopal in Dalton. I'm not in Dalton today, but I want to talk to you a little bit about marketing because I know very little about marketing, and probably most of you know more than I do, but I've studied a little bit about it. Now, I can remember back in the 90s attending some management courses, and this one guy was talking about the marketing of Disney World down in Florida. And one thing he was impressed with the culture is how clean Disney World is. It's located in Florida where it's very hot. There's a lot of seagulls, a lot of bugs in Florida, but the place was so clean. And he went and talked to the managers of Disney World and asked how did they keep it so clean. And they explained to him that at the beginning at the entrances of Disney World, they had a lot of employees who would go around with brooms and dustpans and other things to pick up any trash that anyone threw down, and also to empty all the trash cans so no trash was overflowing. And they kept doing this to create a culture of cleanliness, and that hopefully the customers would mimic this and realize that trash on the ground was just not acceptable there and just not normal. So they created a culture of cleanliness, and that way they kept the park so clean and avoided the problems they would have with in Florida with bugs and seagulls and all kinds of critters they have down there. So I've been thinking about this culture and the marketing part of it and religion. A lot of times in religion we talk a lot about marketing today, and usually it's talking about having different types of sermons and different type of music, or changing the physical plants of our church and doing things about marketing. But I want to talk about marketing today for not the church of churches, but as we as Christians. We are called to market, if you want to use that term, although I think it's sort of but to be examples and be people who we emulate the way Christ lived. We're called as Christians to be Christ-like and to market or to attract people to the seeking the kingdom of God by our example. And Jesus did not call us to be flashy or to try to impress people. Jesus simply called us to be Christ-like, to be loving, to be merciful, to be accepting of others. So our question for Christianity today is not are we marketing Christianity by having nicer churches and different music and different ways of sermon and going on media or whatever, but are we as individuals, are we being Christ-like? Are we attracting people to the kingdom of God by our living like Christ? And for that we will say, thanks be to God.